So back in February, Representative Jaypal from Washington introduced legislation alongside people like Ilhan Omar, Tulsi Gabbard, Khanna, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, and many more who are trying to introduce a constitutional amendment. This amendment, if successful, would actually completely remove corporations' ability to directly influence the outcome of any election. In other words, corporations would no longer be considered people, and this would basically which I guess would be overturn Citizens United, but it would nullify Citizens United because I think only the court can overturn something. But yeah, basically this would nullify Citizens United. It would put the power of democracy or representative democracy back in the hands of the people. And I want to go ahead and tell you all a little bit more about this. I actually did not know this legislation got introduced. You would figure this would be a big deal. But of course, why would the media talk about this? They're all influenced by corporations. So why would they want to talk about this? Here's a resolution. It says Section 1, artificial entities such as corporations do not have constitutional rights. Ooh, got a little tingle when I heard that. All right. So it says the rights protected by the Constitution of the United States are rights of natural persons only. Artificial entities established by the laws of any state, the United States, or in any foreign state shall have no rights under this Constitution and are subject to regulation by the people through federal, state, or local law. The privileges of artificial entities shall be determined by the people through federal, state, and local law and shall not be construed to be inherent or inalienable. In other words, inherent meaning automatic, as in they do not automatically get the rights that people do, right to free press, right to bear arms, think freedom of speech even. Corporations should be limited because of their undue influence on politics and people in general. So I completely agree with that. Section 2, federal, state, and local government shall regulate, limit, or prohibit contributions and expenditures, including a candidate's own contributions and expenditures, to ensure that all citizens, regardless of their economic status, have access to the political process, and that no person gains as a result of their money substantially more access or ability to influence in any way the election of any candidate for public office or any ballot measure. Federal, state, and local government shall require that any permissible contributions and expenditures be publicly disclosed. And the judiciary shall not construe the spending of money to influence elections to be speech under the First Amendment. So, like I said, this would actually nullify the Supreme Court's ruling on Citizens United. Section 3 is really quick. It just says nothing in this amendment shall be construed to abridge freedom of press. This is great. Now, I do want to be clear, this is a resolution, but this is a resolution that would be the first step in moving to introduce an amendment, a constitutional amendment. It would be the 28th Amendment. There is not a bill that is an heir apparent to this piece of legislation that has been presented or introduced in the House or in the Senate. However, MoveToAmend.org has a petition up right now that would encourage you to sign and then push the Senate to introduce an heir apparent of this. Understand the Senate is a tricky beast. It's not like the House. In the House, there are a lot of ways you can sneak by and get in without taking corporate money. The Senate, it is much, much harder to do that. If you're not coming from a state like maybe Vermont, New Hampshire, actually New Hampshire had a lot of big money influence. Alaska, like maybe even Hawaii. And that's, rare cases like Tulsi Gabbard's case. It's hard to win a Senate race because you got to win. You got to run in the whole state, right? And you can't see the whole state. It's not like running in a district. You may not be able to knock on every door like you can in a congressional race or a municipality race. Big money oftentimes influences disproportionately the outcome of Senate races, which is how Rick Scott can almost utterly destroy Florida and still somehow make it to the Senate. because, well, the Democrats actually shit the bed here, but also because he has more influence. He has more money, and therefore people see his name more. And because he can pay for his name to be seen, and he can pay for people to see what he wants them to see, he was able to convince the country that he was going to do things like introduce term limits when he got to Congress. Of course he wasn't. He had no plans on doing that. But that's the type of influence big money has on politics, right? This could be revolutionary, but it can only be revolutionary if people cover it, if people know about it. And so hopefully, if this is your first time hearing about it, now you can go tell other people about it. That would be awesome. Go comment about this on other people's videos. Comment about this on Twitter. Talk about this on Facebook as well. Let them know that there is a movement right now to get big money out of politics. A shout out to Jaypal. She's been introducing a lot of progressive legislation. This and Medicare for All and a few other pieces of legislation that she's introduced. She seems to stay in the background, doesn't like a lot of attention. I know she's got a couple of things wrong in the past. I think she endorsed Hillary Clinton or something like that. But it is what it is. I don't hold one vote against somebody. I look at the pattern of behavior that a person displays, and Jaypal has been doing a fantastic job as a legislator. Gotta give her props and show her some love in that regard. With that being said, people, thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. And always remember, or not this live stream segment, good God. I feel like I live stream so much. Every segment's a live stream segment. But thank you for tuning into that segment of Mikasa Sukasa. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. Thanks for watching that segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Roku TV, and on JustNForm.com. Also, you can make sure that you're subscribed to the channel by going to the subscribe button, pressing it, and hitting that notification bell to get all of our notifications. And of course, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon by supporting the show by donating as little as $1. You can click on the link in the description below for that. And remember, more than anything else, find your balance.